Hi everyone, happy Monday, happy new week. My name is Promise Odera, and today I want to speak to the issue of the renaming of INEC headquarters as Humphrey Nwosu's house, which the Senate have blatantly refused on two occasions, and also for many of the constitutional amendment bills which has passed through, one of them being um, removing the immunity for the deputy governors. I think the governors and the deputy or the vice presidents. So these issues, as they arise, Uncle said it rightly so. It's like media breeds so much information in Nigeria's media and in the circulation that a lot of things are getting thrown at the public, so they miss some of the salient points or even heavy matters that they're supposed to be deliberating on. The issue of Natasha Aboti and what is happening in Kogi State has clouded a lot of news or information, or even the day-to-day dealings of the plenary of the National Assembly and also the House of Rep, everyday activities. But like we said, Nigeria needs a more robust and effective constitution, which is why this amendment is going on. And a lot of bills have been passed through, some of which are very commendable. But also the issue of Humphrey Nwosu, who is also a professor of political science. I must say at this juncture that I never knew who Humphrey Nwosu was. And this is the testament to the issue that we don't have a history curriculum for such a long time, until recently, where everybody, including former governor of Edo State, Oshimole, who said on Shell's channel's Politics Today that it is the worst thing you can ever do, or that has been done to Nigeria and Nigerians, to remove our history. Because someone like me, even though the man is from my state and he only died a few years ago, I never knew who he was. I hear of Juntu, I hear of Abiola, but I never heard of Nwosu. Now I'm seeing people come on, like Senator Victor Ume, come on channels, show Politics Today to, educate us on who Humphrey Nwosu was. I never read his book. I mean, I don't even like reading books or accounts, because nobody believes in each other's accounts. Even Obasanjo's book or any other person's book, nobody believes them. You see people disproving of IBB's book or account on, all sorts. Nigeria is just such an impossible place, And then the senator from, is it Anambra State or somebody, I posted it on my stories, who said, is it because Humphrey Nwosu is Igbo that they don't want to give him or immortalize his name? Now, of course, there are few Igbo people who have been immortalized in Nigeria. And also, the governors can also immortalize them in their states. But they're looking at it that the man did something for the whole nation, for Nigeria, not for the tribe or for Igbos. He did it to bring about the fairest and fairest election. But I think they don't want to do that because, of course, that will be a constant reminder. If you name that INEC headquarters after the man, it will be a constant reminder to every INEC chairman, especially Yakubu Mahmood, of the rubbish. Because you could do what is legal, you can get away with him, imposing somebody on the people. But one thing you cannot do is to change the minds of the people. No. They know who won the election. They know the truth. Before IBB wrote his book, everybody is been like popular knowledge and public knowledge that Abiola won the election, right? So the same way people know that Peter Obi won the election. So Yakubu Mahmood can declare whatever he wants to declare. The courts can pass whatever they want to pass, but you cannot change public opinion. So that said, they don't want that constant reminder of who was adjudged as the freest and fairest election in Nigeria's history by the observers, not by Nigerians. Because if it's by Nigerians, you say it's biased, but by the observers. And these observers have been observing every election. In fact, some Nigerian officials, including the INEC chairman, observe other countries' elections, which they also have to give their verdict in those cases. So why am I saying all of this? History is one of the biggest issues we have in Nigeria. History. I didn't know who Humphrey Nwosu was. But now, knowing the little I've heard from different parties, those that agree that he was instrumental in the annulment, those that agree that he was upright, at the end of the day, he was a professor of political science, which meant he understood the nuances and everything that happened in the Civil War or prior to the Civil War, and understood that Igbos were fighting for the Yorubas, which was a war, and how the whole thing turned against them. And you want such a man to go and put his head on the line again for Yorubas, Abiola, he wouldn't do it. And I support that he didn't do it. I don't care. But the truth is that if Humphrey Nwosu, knowing what was at stake, going against a military general as such like IBB, then a military head of state, if he had declared Abiola, he would have been the one to die. Yes, he would have been the one to die. Because if Abiola now took it upon himself to resume the office of Humphrey Nwosu and declare himself, and they killed him, that could have been the fate of Humphrey Nwosu. So I am fully in support of that decision. At least the man lived long. I think he died a few years ago. Don't die for Nigeria. I really commend the military and police that are, putting their lives on the line for that country. Some of us had the opportunity, to belong to better climes and also become a citizen of other countries. But there are people who are stuck in that country. And the worst thing is that Nigerians don't even understand that it is their right for government to provide good healthcare, free healthcare, good roads, electricity, just like other countries are enjoying. I'm not even saying the West, go to some African countries. But because, like one reverend said from Nsukka Diocese, one archbishop, he said, once the politicians don't fear the people, that's the worst state. Every country, including China, UK, America, they are scared of the people. You cannot go against the people because people are the power, whether in a communist, whether in a democracy, whether even in Russia. You must be careful, and that's why the media is always powerful. And the government are always acting to make sure they are in line with the people so that the people will not revolt. In Nigeria, nobody cares about the people. If you try anything, they shoot you on sight. If somebody as high up as Natasha can be going around the whole country, the whole world, you will sue to petition the IG of police, petition this one, petition that one, go to this country. Yet, look at the way they are rubbishing her. She couldn't even win election with how many votes, but they have now drafted a woman that was close to Wike, that was taking picture with Wike also, right? Is now drafted over 200 something, signatures, 200 something thousand signatures. That's to show you the blatant way they do anything they want to get and get away with it eventually. All of us that are participating in the destruction of Nigeria, all of us will sit down and watch our children enjoy it. Yes. The painful part is that most of them, their children have alternate countries that they can go to. They have dual citizenships. But what is worth? They cannot carry their whole family, their whole kinsmen, their whole village out. So somebody must do what? Suffer the nonsense that they are creating. Look at Rivers State, House of Rep Speaker. We don't know whether he's under duress. We don't know which one he's saying. He's not in agreement with his wife. All these things that are playing. You become governor, you steal more money, and you die. What is the point? Can't you do good? Is there anything that says that Nigerians are forbidden to do what is right? Must we be corrupt by nature, generation after generation? Now, I want to speak to my Igbo brothers. This is just like an observation. Let us maintain our culture, our language, especially our name. I noticed that all the TV anchors from Arise, from channels, most TV anchors from the Igbo descent are always going with their English names. If it's not Geoffrey, how you know their Igbo is probably their surname. it will be, I think, Oji at least goes with our Igbo name. But others, the one in our eyes is Charles. Don't we have Igbo names? Can't we go with Igbo names? Because all the Yoruba counterparts are going with their Yoruba names. The Hausa counterparts are going with their Hausa names. Yet we are the ones that have been dealt heavily by the colonizers. Yet we are the ones that answer English names more than our native names. I will leave it at that. Now, the other thing I want to speak to, in Nigeria, there are some states that always give us problem. Year after year, regime after regime. Every tenor, every regime, every government, these two states will give us wahala. Number one is River State. If it is not Rotimi versus Wike, it is Wike versus Sumbara, or it is Rotimi versus Dam Jonathan. Number two is River State. Sorry, number two is Kogi State. Kogi gave us Dino Melaye. Kogi gave us Yahya Bello. Kogi gave us Natasha Akpoti. Let us have peace from these two states. It's true that in a family you will have scapegoats, or what do you call them, knuckleheads. But it's high time River State and Kogi State do a better politics to present people to the national that will give people less headaches. Not to say anything against these personalities mentioned. Some of them have some good in them. Even the wicked that we are insulting up and down, he does good jobs, but his character is bad. And that is why Atiku is still justifying why he did not make him VP. Now, as other matters are rising, the killing and insecurity in the country under a southern president is laughable. Because at the end of the day, is it when a northern president comes in and these Fulani herdsmen are even further emboldened that you will have peace in the south? Yet every day they make you believe that the problem of Nigeria is IPOB and then Nnamdi Kanu. Yet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been inside for years. Look at how Southeast is now. Will you still blame Nnamdi Kanu for the insecurity in the Southeast? Sit at home, is that what is causing the problem? Nigerians will see the truth, live the truth, and be chasing shadows. Fulani herdsmen are killing in Enugu State, my own state, every day, kicking people out in Amafu. Women have been protesting that they are being RAPE, being shook something into their private part. As in, how would you feel if your mother calls you from the village, or your grandma or your auntie calls you from the village and tell you such a thing? You want to tell me that you will love the Fulanis? And we are claiming one Nigeria. That is the most useless thing you can ever believe in this world, that Nigeria is one. From where to where? If you put an Igbo man and put a Fulani man and put an Hausa man and put an Yoruba man, are we one? From how are we one? The reasoning, the clothing, the culture, the food, the religion, what is one about Nigeria? You come back to your own country, people are crying. I just watched a video that a young girl said she can't even bury her mother. She doesn't have a village anymore. I went to the village when I came back in. I come back to Nigeria every year. When I went to the village, I wanted to leave. They held me. They seized me. They say I'm not going anywhere, that the roads are kidnappers. I heard what is happening in Uromi. The Uromi 16. Because now it's a Fulani people, everybody is gyrating. But at the end of the day, just go to Enugu State and see what the Fulani herdsmen are doing. Can't the government, a southern government, where we see Wike power is throwing tantrums, hitting heads against each other, that's drinking, that's what we see Wike. Wike, you are from the south. Akpabio, you are from the south. Tinubu, you are from the south, for Christ's sake. And Fulani herdsmen are decimating, killing people, raping people, doing all sorts of evil in the south, including southwest. Remember our killings? South, southeast, everywhere gone. It was not so during the time of good luck. It was contained in the north. So by all standards, Tinubu is a failure, especially in terms of security. And he needs to buckle up. If your Ministry of Defense is not doing anything because it's from the north, change him to a southerner. This is too much. Thank you.